I do come from tried and true Lutheran stock, I suppose. On my mom's side, our family came over from Germany, and it's fit that we're playing here in this church tonight. And I thought then it'd be very appropriate to tell this story about this song, and it's about my grandmother, my Oma. And when they first came to Canada, they actually went to church down the street at what is now the West End Cultural Centre, and it was pretty cool to get to play this song there about a year ago now. And it's really cool that as I get older, I realize how lucky I am that I still have all of my grandparents, and that well into their 80s, they still have pretty good health, and they still have their memories, which I'm starting to get to hear now. And I find that as they get older, it's almost like the memories become more real, and the past becomes more real again. And I've noticed that in lots of elders, I guess. Anyway, it's cool now that I get to hear these stories that I didn't hear as a child, and I've taken upon myself to collect a few of them, and I have this audio, and it's pretty much my most valuable possession. It's my grandparents talking about life, overseas. And so, of all the stories they've ever told me, my favorite one is my Oma tells me in 1945 she's living in this German settlement called Bessarabia, in what is now technically Poland, and it's been a tough 4 years during the war. Her father died when she was a lot younger, so it was herself and her brothers and her mother running this farm. And one of the first things that happened is when the war started, they came and took many of the horses that were, integral to farm life, so that further made things more difficult, especially when they then took her brothers as well. And so it was a hard 4 years, and at the end of it, she remembers, as a little girl, she says not a little girl, she was 19, she remembers hearing in the town after the war was over that there was this Russian army, and it was coming in their direction, and nobody really knew when it was going to get there and what it would mean. And so she remembers it was January 25th that she went to bed, and in the middle of the night, somebody knocked on the window and essentially said, everybody has to get up and leave right now. And so she goes downstairs, and there's this Polish farmhand named Stefan, she says, who had these two horses saddled up, and her mother was able to get in the wagon, and so they all kind of moved out. And on the very first day, they were separated. And so for the next 26 days, she was with her younger brother Walter, who was 14, and some of the women from the village, and they didn't know if they were ever going to see their mother again. And she has lots of memories from the journey. She remembers being so tired at one point that she fell asleep, and this horse sort of made its way into the forest. She says she woke up and it was such a close forest that they couldn't actually turn around. And I've been to Germany, and I see the way the Germans plant trees, and it's literally like this. So she couldn't turn around until they came to this clearing, and then they could come back out again. And so she remembers the night they tried to go into Berlin, and the soldiers told her that wasn't a good idea. And the next morning she woke up and she said she heard the bombs falling. And so it seems like, I feel like she was being watched out for on this journey, and she does make it to Brandenburg, and she does, through this incredible coincidence, find her mother again. But shortly after that, the Soviet army catches up with them and takes these horses, which, when she tells the story, is this, this is this pivotal moment when it was the last real tangible thing they brought with them was taken away from them. So there's a lot of sadness when she tells the story. There's also a lot of pride when she speaks of her younger brother, and also she always says how these horses were such good horses, and they had these personalities the way she tells the story. And she remembers very clearly that their names were Liesel and Friedl. So the story checks out, it's definitely German horses. You don't get more German than that. And so this is what she remembers, and so I thought that was such a great story, and I love that lady very much, so I decided I was going to write a song about it. And as a little bit of added incentive, if you feel like picking up our CD, the song is on it, and I have this tiny little clip of her telling the story at the end, and because Sheena also has some German Omas, she does a pretty mean Oma impression, so just in case you're wondering what she says, it's this.
Both of my Omas are here, actually. Well, this is what Daniel's Oma says. She says, "And Walter took Friedel and I took Liesel, and she had always her flute on my shoulder."
That's bang on. Anyway, so here's a song entitled Liesel Friedl, and it's about...
Don't worry, Grandma's, Omas, that cookie was not better than any of yours. I promise.
Or she'll use the spatula on. Anyway, it goes like this.
Say your prayers and lay your young head down till the midnight comes knocking and you have to leave this town. The Red Army's coming, but the faithful family servant still outside. He saddled up the horses, so take your younger brother now and ride. young, scared to death, and all at once without your childhood home. You wake up in a meadow in the middle of a forest all alone. I wonder where you found the strength, when really you were still a child, to ride across a country torn by the claws of human nature and wild. Oh, Liesel Friedl, keep that woman safe. She's got an ocean to cross to find the better. Oh, Liesel Friedl, keep that woman safe. She's got an ocean to cross and never needs to see the nothing there will serve you. Riding toward the outer curtain. Say your prayers and lay your gray hair down, till the memories come knocking from some half-remembered town. You've come such a long way from that desperate flight. I thank God for the horses who kept you safe at night. Oh, Liesel Friedl, keep that woman safe. She's got a ocean to cross and I'm gonna She's got a ocean to cross and never needs to see it all.
Dankeschön. Thanks.